is for $150 million. So she announced this on X this afternoon, saying that today I filed a defamation lawsuit against Bill Maher.
Look at my husband. I'm reminded of the Slovenian national dish. a fat, greasy sausage filled with cheese.
Bill Maher just dropped a bomb on Melania and Loomer, and it's only one word. Can you guess what it is? Hint, it rhymes with dump and starts with a T. Trump's probably fuming right now, and Twitter's about to explode.
I wish I knew why I have a recurring dream I'm pinned beneath a giant orange sack of shit.
But wait till you hear Melania's comeback. It's even spicier than Maher's zinger. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Bill Maher's been at it again, folks. The sharp-tongued host of Real Time has been stirring up trouble, and this time, he's got his sights set on a double whammy, Melania Trump and Laura Loomer. Now, we all know Maher's not one to pull punches, but even by his standards, this latest jab is something else. The stage was set on his latest show, with Maher kicking things off in his usual style. You know the drill, a bit of Trump bashing here, a dash of political roasting there, but something was different this time. The audience could feel it in the air, like that moment before a thunderstorm when your hair starts to stand on end. Maher started off easy, warming up the crowd with a few softballs. He cracked wise about Biden's age, threw in a zinger about Ted Cruz's beard. Seriously, what's going on there? And even managed to work in a jab at Mitch McConnell's, well, everything. But you could tell he was building up to something bigger. As he circled closer to his main target, you could see the gleam in his eye. It was like watching a cat play with its food before going in for the kill. He started dropping hints about Melania and Loomer, and suddenly everyone was on the edge of their seats. What could he possibly say about this unlikely duo that hadn't been said before?
Trump, then not at the center of it, starts surrounding himself with, he normally surrounds himself with pretty crazy people, but this Laura Loomer?
And then, just when the tension was at its peak, Maher dropped his bombshell. One word, that's all it took. One perfectly chosen, absolutely devastating word that had the audience gasping and laughing in equal measure. The reaction was instant. People were falling out of their chairs, clutching their sides, and reaching for their phones to spread the word. Now, I can't repeat that word here. This is a family-friendly channel after all, but let's just say it rhymes with ducking and leave it at that. The combination of Melania's icy demeanor and Loomer's firebrand personality, all summed up in one crude but effective term? Pure comedy gold. But Maher wasn't done. Oh no, he was just getting started. He followed up his one-word wonder with a rapid-fire series of jokes that had the audience in stitches. Melania and Loomer walk into a bar, he quipped, and the bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve Russian assets or conspiracy theorists here." Boom, roasted. The crowd was eating it up, but Maher knew he had to keep the momentum going. He pivoted to a riff on Melania's infamous "I really don't care, do you?" jacket, suggesting that Loomer might want to borrow it for her next court appearance. After all, Maher deadpanned, it's the perfect outfit for someone who really doesn't care about facts. As the laughter died down, you could almost hear the collective sound of thousands of tweets being composed. Maher's one-word zinger was spreading across the internet faster than a cat video on a slow news day. Within minutes, it was trending on Twitter, with everyone from political pundits to late-night hosts jumping in to offer their 2 cents. But here's the thing, Maher's jab wasn't just shock value for the sake of it. Hidden beneath the crude exterior was a biting commentary on the state of American politics. By linking Melania and Loomer in such a provocative way, he was highlighting the bizarre alliances and shifting loyalties that have come to define the Trump era.
I want to go through the list of conspiracy theorists, but we thought this would be a good week to get the audience to know her a little better. She's the new groupie in Trump's circle.
Well, folks, if you thought the internet couldn't get any crazier, Bill Maher just proved you wrong. His little zinger about Melania and Loomer didn't just break Twitter, it sent it into a full-blown meltdown. We're talking nuclear levels of chaos here. It all started innocently enough. A few savvy viewers tweeted out Maher's quip, probably thinking they'd get a couple of laughs and move on, but oh boy, were they in for a surprise. Within minutes, those tweets were spreading faster than a rumor at a high school reunion. Before you could say KFF, hashtags started popping up like mushrooms after a rainstorm. Maher Madness and the Melania Gate were trending faster than you can say Russian asset. And let's not forget the memes. Oh, the memes. There were more memes than Trump has excuses for his tax returns.
I hope I inspire little girls everywhere to marry for money. Oh, that's so sweet.
One Twitter user at politicalpundit101 really hit the nail on the head. Maher just dropped a truth bomb so big it makes WikiLeaks look like a grade school gossip circle. That tweet alone got more retweets than Trump's daily follower count. But it wasn't just the average Joes and Janes getting in on the action. Blue check marks were popping off left and right. It was like watching a verbal tennis match. But instead of a ball, they were lobbing increasingly spicy takes back and forth. Maher's supporters were out in full force, praising him for telling it like it is and exposing the truth. On the flip side, his critics were accusing him of going too far, calling the comment tasteless and beneath the belt. It was like watching two groups speak completely different languages while insisting they're saying the same thing.
I copied this list from Michelle Obama. Well,
What made this Twitter storm different from your run-of-the-mill Maher controversy was the sheer scale of it. Usually when Maher drops a zinger, it causes a ripple. This time, it was a tsunami. It wasn't just contained to the political Twitterverse either. Celebrities, sports stars, even that one guy who got famous for eating Tide Pods. Everyone was weighing in. As the tweet storm intensified, it started drawing in the big guns. Politicians who normally wouldn't touch a controversy with a 10-foot pole were suddenly all over this. It was like watching a bunch of cats trying to catch the same laser pointer. Chaotic, slightly ridiculous, but utterly mesmerizing. One particularly spicy tweet came from at Congressman X, name withheld to protect the not-so-innocent. If Maher's comment is true, it explains a lot about the state of our democracy. Maybe we should be thanking him for the wake-up call. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. Meanwhile, Twitter's servers were practically begging for mercy. The site was lagging worse than Internet Explorer on Windows 95. You could almost hear the poor engineers at Twitter HQ screaming, "Make it stop." But the crown jewel of this whole Twitter circus, it had to be the tweet from at Celeb Chef, again protecting the guilty. If Melania and Loomer are what Maher says they are, no wonder the White House menu's been so fishy lately. Now that's what I call a culinary burn. Speaking of burns, guess who's about to get roasted harder than an overcooked Trump steak? Our favorite orange-tinted tweeter-in-chief is about to throw a fit that'll make a toddler's tantrum look like a Zen meditation session. Yep, you guessed it. The Donald himself has caught wind of Maher's zinger, and boy oh boy is he steaming mad. Picture this, Trump nestled in his gold-plated Mar-a-Lago throne, scrolling through Twitter like it's his job, which, let's face it kind of was for 4 years. Suddenly his tiny fingers freeze mid-scroll. His face contorts into a grimace that would make even the most seasoned plastic surgeon wince. The realization hits him harder than a well-aimed subpoena. Bill Maher has just dragged his name through the mud, and worse, he's brought Melania into it.
look at my husband. I'm reminded of the Slovenian national dish. A fat, greasy sausage filled with cheese.
Now, we all know Trump's not exactly known for his cool, calm demeanor, but this time, it's like someone poked a giant orange balloon with a pin. His advisors, bless their souls, try their best to keep him from tweeting. They're practically playing keep away with his phone, like it's the nuclear football all over again. Sir, they plead, maybe we should take a moment to craft a measured response. But asking Trump to be measured is like asking a bull not to charge at a red cape. It's just not in his nature. As Trump paces around his gilded cage, muttering about fake news and low ratings bill, you can almost see the steam coming out of his ears. He's like a cartoon character, all red-faced and huffing, ready to blow his top. His inner circle is in full panic mode, trying to figure out how to respond without making things worse. It's like watching a group of cats try to herd, well, another cat. A very large, very orange cat with a Twitter addiction. Meanwhile, the White House is going into damage control mode faster than you can say KFF.
Ania, the world needs you. President Hellboy has proved to be impervious to facts, reason.
Press secretaries are drafting statements, spin doctors are spinning their wheels, and somewhere, a lone intern is stress-eating their way through a box of donuts, wondering if it's too late to switch careers. But here's the kicker. Trump can't contain himself any longer. It's like watching a pressure cooker about to explode, except instead of delicious pulled pork, we're about to get served a steaming hot plate of word salad. His fingers hover over his phone, twitching with the anticipation of a million caps lock rants to come. You can almost hear the Star-Spangled Banner playing in the background as he prepares to exercise his God-given right to tweet nonsense. And then it happens. The floodgates open and out pours a Twitter meltdown so epic it makes his previous rants look like gentle lullabies. It's a symphony of all caps, misspellings, and more exclamation points than a teenager's diary. Sleepy Bill Maher and his failing show are a disgrace to comedy. He begins, warming up his thumbs for the tirade to come. He wouldn't know a good joke if it hit him in his bald head. But Trump's just getting started. He goes on a tear, calling Maher everything from a no-talent hack to a communist sympathizer, because in Trump's world, those two things are definitely related. He even manages to squeeze in a jab at Hillary Clinton, because old habits die hard, folks. The pièce de résistance? A tweet that reads, Bill Maher is so unfunny, he couldn't make a hyena laugh. S.A.D. It's poetry, really. Shakespeare himself couldn't have crafted a more eloquent response. As Trump's tweet storm rages on, the internet collectively grabs its popcorn. Memes start flying faster than you can say fake news, and suddenly everyone's a political commentator. It's like the Super Bowl of Twitter, and Trump's meltdown is the halftime show we never knew we needed. So while Trump's Twitter fingers are getting a workout, everyone's wondering what's up with the enigmatic Melania. You know, the former first lady who could give us Sphinx lessons in keeping secrets. Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because Melania's about to make a move that'll have everyone's jaws on the floor. Now, Melania's been quieter than a mouse in a library since Maher dropped his zinger. But don't let that fool you. Behind those designer shades, there's a storm brewing. Her team's been holed up in meetings so intense you'd think they were planning a moon landing. They're probably downing espressos like there's no tomorrow, trying to craft the perfect comeback. Meanwhile, social media is going nuts. Everyone and their grandma's dog has a theory about what Melania's gonna do next. Some folks think she'll stand by her man like a good little trophy wife. Others are betting she'll finally snap and spill all the White House tea. It's like a political version of The Bachelor, and we're all waiting to see who gets the final rose. And let's not forget the fashion police. They're on high alert, ready to analyze every stitch of Melania's next public appearance. Will she let her outfit do the talking again? Maybe she'll wear a jacket that says, I really do care, actually. Or how about a hat with Mayor's right embroidered on it? The possibilities are endless, people. While we're all playing fashion fortune tellers, the talking heads on TV are having a field day. They're digging up every reaction Melania's ever had to controversy, trying to predict what she'll do next. Remember when she swatted away Trump's hand? Or when she plagiarized Michelle Obama's speech? Good times, but this time it feels different, like we're on the edge of something big. And then, just when we thought the suspense couldn't get any thicker, Melania breaks her silence. But hold on to your hairpieces, folks, because this ain't your typical PR-approved statement. Nope, our girl Melania decides to go rogue in a way that has everyone doing a double take. Just when you thought this political circus couldn't get any wilder, enter Laura Loomer. She's like the human embodiment of a Fox News comment section, and she's about to turn this whole mess into her own personal clown show.
But he says that she's this great woman. He has been hanging around a right-wing activist called Laura Loomer.
Poor Laura's been dragged into Maher's comedy crossfire, and boy is she feeling the heat. Loomer, known for her far-right antics and conspiracy theories, is scrambling to respond. Her supporters, a motley crew of MAGA enthusiasts and QAnon believers, are demanding she take action. But what can she do? Sue a comedian for being funny? Good luck with that, Laura.
Now suing comedian Bill Maher over a joke that he made about Laura Loomer engaged in an affair with Donald Trump.
Her past controversies are coming back to haunt her like ghosts at a Trump hotel. Remember when she chained herself to Twitter's headquarters to protest being banned? Or when she jumped on stage at a Shakespeare in the Park production to yell about political violence against the right? Yeah, those little stunts aren't exactly helping her case right now. But Loomer, ever the opportunist, is trying to spin this situation faster than a Mar-a-Lago golf cart. She's gone on every far-right podcast and YouTube channel that'll have her, claiming this is all part of a deep state conspiracy to silence conservative voices. Because apparently Bill Maher is now part of the Illuminati or something. Who knew?
Is for $150 million. So she announced this on X this afternoon, saying that today I filed a defamation lawsuit against Bill Maher.
Her social media accounts have turned into a virtual battlefield. Her supporters are flooding her comments with emojis of American flags and bald eagles, while her critics are having a field day. One Twitter user wrote, "Laura Loomer is so far right, she makes Attila the Hun look like Bernie Sanders." Ouch. Loomer's considering legal action, but her lawyers are looking more nervous than Rudy Giuliani at a hair dye convention. They're probably thinking, how do we explain to a judge that our client is suing because a comedian said a naughty word?
Had been raising some eyebrows. She was accompanying Trump to all sorts of campaign events. And she was also pictured kind of like cozying up to him.
In a series of increasingly desperate public statements, Loomer's really outdoing herself. She held a press conference outside of Denny's because apparently that's where political comebacks are staged now, where she declared, Bill Maher is part of the liberal elite trying to silence strong conservative women like me and Melania Trump. Yeah, Laura, I'm sure Melania's just dying to have you as her BFF. But Loomer's final attempt to change the narrative takes the cake. In a move that would make even the most seasoned publicist facepalm, she announces she's starting a GoFundMe to sue not just Bill Maher, but also Twitter, Facebook, and for some reason the entire state of California.
And it's disgusting. The way that they're now spreading lies about me, the media now is accusing me of, having an affair with Donald Trump, such a salacious lie.
Her goal, a cool $1 billion, because why not shoot for the stars when you're already in La La Land? As news of Loomer's GoFundMe spreads, the internet responds with its usual mix of snark and disbelief. One Reddit user quips, "Laura Loomer suing California is like a flat earther suing gravity." Another tweets, "Loomer versus California. I haven't seen a mismatch this bad since Trump versus basic human decency." Even some of her fellow conservatives are backing away slowly. Ben Shapiro, in a rare moment of clarity, tweets, "While I disagree with Bill Maher on many things, perhaps suing an entire state isn't the best use of conservative resources." You think, Ben? Well, folks, it looks like Bill Maher's zinger has turned the political world upside down faster than you can say kofef.
You've been really very special. You work hard, and you are a very opinionated lady. I have to tell you that, and in my opinion, I like that.
The comedians are rubbing their hands with glee, probably thinking Christmas came early this year. Who knew one little word could cause such a ruckus? It's like Maher dropped a political stink bomb, and now everyone's scrambling for gas masks.
And HBO for falsely accusing me of having an affair with President Donald Trump on a September 13th episode of Maher's show.
But let's be real, this whole circus shows just how powerful a well-timed joke can be in today's politics. It's like Maher's playing 4D chess, while the rest of us are still figuring out checkers. In the end, maybe we're all just pawns in his grand comedy scheme. One thing's for sure though, the next time Maher opens his mouth, you can bet your bottom dollar the whole world will be listening, and probably laughing, or tweeting, or both.